Jeg vil bare si hei til alle som har kommet, og ønske velkommen til denne offentlige undervisningen fra Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute den 8. februar 2017. Og så skal jeg bare si at vi har litt nyheter først, og så blir det gjennomgang av litt basic plasmakunnskap. For de som synes det er ålreit, og de som ikke synes det er ålreit, så er det sånn det er. Så det blir fra første Kids barneworkshopen fra 4. oktober 2014. Og host, budbringer, det er meg, Willy Østli, og co-host er Eva Krarup. Så da er det sagt.
You are people listening from every corner of this planet. No knowledge has been dispersed so beautifully, so balanced across the planet, of this planet ever, maybe in the universe. You have the full potential of achieving everything in the universe. There is no need and there is no reason for nano-technology. So, wherever you are, the way I taught you to make the coils double coil inside, you have continuous equal gravitational magnetic field, and if you put CO2 on it, and you put zinc on it, you have connected the emotion of the man to it on a stable condition, and you'll find out you become a very peaceful man. Here, instead of having galaxies and universes and creating connection magnetically, we have used the matter state gravitational magnetic field strength to dominate and dictate the shape of the plasma. The nano-technology, the nano-material which you have collectively developed in different ways, by caustic, by electric currents, by whatever, fire or whatever, has that advantage that the matter, the nano and the plasma is all the same. So connection is very soft, it's very strong. The power of the plasma technology, the way we have thought, is beyond imagination of the man. Now you can create and control the plasma, which is the mother of the creation of the universe. You are given the seed of the essence of the creation. The foundation does not belong to no one and is not made of one anymore. You are developing it, you are structuring it, and from today we will be still the same. We'll still develop the technology in different names, in different colors, in different nationalities which they do not exist. It is beautiful when we see the Christian, the Muslims, the Jews, and every other belief are working together to build up systems. We have already become one faith. We already have become one nation, and we already have become one planet. You got to remember one thing. dates is irrelevant. Today is the last day of the Christian calendar, or tomorrow is the beginning of another. One day is connected to another. We don't stop. We are working around the clock. The Keshe Foundation team is working irrespective of time, position, religion, country. And now we achieve what we set out for.
Billy?
Ja, Marie.
Bare den teksten henger jeg ikke helt med på, i hvert fall ikke på mitt nettbrett her.
Det så bra ut i denne enden, så da er det lag på Zoom i så fall.
Ok.
Får jeg ikke gjort så mye mer, altså.
Nei, ok.
Det er noe sånn der. Jeg vet ikke hvordan jeg skal få gjort noe med det. I hvert fall ikke nå.
Foundation is extending an invitation to medical doctors of any practice and specialty to apply to the Foundation's private weekly medical teaching workshop. This includes medical doctors, dentists, and veterinarians.
Jeg kan faktisk se det her også. Jeg tror jeg skal bare laste inn den tekstfilen på nytt igjen.
Sending an invitation to medical doctors of any practice and specialty to apply to the Foundation's private weekly medical teaching workshop. This includes medical doctors, dentists, and veterinarians. Scientists of the Keshe Foundation developed different types of plasma therapies and cures that utilize advanced non-invasive plasma technology. The weekly private medical teaching workshop educates doctors to the plasma science behind the therapies, along with the functionality and operation of revolutionary plasma medical devices. The goal of the private teachings is to add plasma health knowledge to the profound knowledge of medical doctors. The weekly class is broadcast live over the internet through a secure private channel every Wednesday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central European Time. Presently, the class is only offered in English. However, you are free to bring a translator to the class. If you can't participate in the live broadcast, you can watch them later at your convenience through a private internet portal. Every patient's case that is discussed in the workshop will be kept anonymous and private. This includes catalogued findings and data gained from the analysis of the patient's health issues. Any medical doctor in the world who wants to participate can do so by sending an email to doctors@spaceshipinstitute.org. In your email, please state your willingness to participate in the medical teaching workshop. If you're planning on The Keshe Foundation is extending an invitation to medical doctors of any practice and speciality to apply to the Foundation's private weekly medical teaching workshop. This doctors to the plasma science live broadcast. You can watch them later at your convenience through a private internet portal. Every patient's case that is discussed in the workshop will be kept anonymous and private. This includes cataloged findings and data gained from the analysis of the patient's health issues. Any medical doctor in the world who wants to participate can do so by sending an email to doctors@spaceshipinstitute.org. In your email, please state your willingness to participate in the medical teaching workshop. If you're planning on bringing a translator to the workshop, please state this in your email as well. After we receive your email, we will contact you with the instructions on how to apply to the workshop. As a part of the application process, applicants who apply, including any translators brought into the workshop, will be required to sign the Keshe Foundation's World Peace Treaty, which can be found at the following web address. All applicants will be required to provide proof of their education and ability to practice medicine, and will also be required to pass an extensive security background check before they are granted access to the teaching workshop. Healthful plasma technology is here, now, the use of which is increasing exponentially on a day-to-day basis on every continent. We encourage you to come and learn about this revolutionary technology. Apply today.
Ja, jeg må bare beklage. Beklage timinga på teksten. Den ikke god, ser jeg. Men jeg har dessverre ikke tid til å gjøre noe med det nå. Men vi får se til å prøve å forstå likevel, så får vi se hvordan det går.
Welcome everyone to the 157th Knowledge Seekers Workshop of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute with Mr. Keshe once again as our teacher, and continue. I think sharing is not sharing. There we go.
Yes, everything we can hear you.
Okay, good. And okay. It's February 2nd today, another Thursday for the Knowledge Seekers Workshop. February 2nd, 2017, that is. And we're ready with a new month here and a new teaching for today. So we'll see what Mr. Keshe has in mind and support him as we go on through the evening here, or morning, wherever you happen to be. Mr. Keshe, go ahead.
Good morning, good day to you, whenever and wherever you listen to these teachings as usual. Today is the 157th and the beginning of the 4th year of the teaching for the public teachings. Hopefully this year will be as good as the last 2-3 years we have done. And this year we start in a level of the space technology, a new dimension. And teachings in the space development and in energy development. As we have said all the time, we try to add into the level of the knowledge into the space development and in the structure of the developing new technology. We have seen in the past few weeks and months huge development in, especially in medicine, agriculture, and what we call the health and energy in space. On one hand, we've been asked a lot of questions, and we have to answer these questions in respect how we have entered and why we mixed the situation what's called the facts about Dirk with our teaching. This will touch all of us. This is the reason we put this out, and I've been made threats against that. They are sending the documents to the prosecutors and to the two countries, and we welcome it. We waited. We want you to bring it to the prosecutors. We have enough evidence to show that people who say they're sending things to prosecutors, they've been sending emails, threatening emails to us under different names for past 5 or 6 years. Now they've thought we forgot. We have shut off every Facebook you have put on. Will be produced to prosecutors that by the law you have been harassing, threatening, and everything else. And now that you're exposed, you take refuge with the prosecutors, which they prosecute you. On the other hand, we needed this to be done because in Belgium, the prosecutor covered everything in the favor of the DL and what we call the abusers. Now outside, with this move, if you've been strong enough to do it and send the key to the prosecutor, all have to be addressed to the Keshe Foundation in Valletta. Prosecutor has to address us there, that's our registered address. In this case, we explain to you why. We have seen in the past 7 days an entry on my name, Facts About the Keshe Foundation, where the L writes very simply about a person, Mr. Jean-Pierre. And he says he is a scammer and the rest. This gentleman was a high level, broke into the world of finance, and then he was very successful till in 1990s he broke into the pedophile groups in Belgium, and he exposed and he wrote a book about how he had broken into the pedophile group. And you see in the writing at the end it says, this explains why I also support, the foundation to open up the scams. And he was involved in it. So we exposed this. Mr. Van Rossum exposed the pedophile groups in Belgium and how it connected at a high level. And so we see again a pedophile is connected. We let him to open his hand. What is interesting, he was convicted in 1992-94, and strange enough, he was sentenced because he opened the pedophile. This was an excuse. His book, all these have been collected, the data and everything else. And so if the man knew from 1994, this gentleman is a scammer and whatever, we have found more that in 2012 there is a website called Rossum, which is Belong Jean-Pierre, the political party which he set up. And if you go about facts about Dirk, you read on the top right at the bottom the website. You see a criminal name, as he says, with the name of DL next to him at the headline at top of the website. Very strange. You knew for 15 years the guy is a scammer, he's a criminal. Now that we have exposed you, he's a criminal. Because the only reason we see this connection, he wanted to know if Jean-Pierre is back into chasing the pedophiles and if he could destroy his party. And that's what he did. Nothing to do with the scam. Now you see a connection again with the pedophilia. And we said in teachings before, Jean-Pierre was given a video of abuse of a child live, and it's in detail, he's written about it. DL wanted to know if he recognizes him as abuser. That's why in 2012, 20 years later, he went as part of his group, pedophiles, to check how much he knows, if he's extended it, that they can destroy him. And the rest is obvious. If you know somebody, well-known high politician, and you've been in the high politic, which has been imprisoned, why do you associate yourself and put your name on top of the website? Please go to Keshe Foundation and see how we've been insulted and assaulted by this person. But there is one thing very interesting when you look at the website. He's a web designer, he's a webmaster, he is the logo developer, he is a public relation communicator and everything else. Notice the similarity, webmaster at Keshe Foundation. Access to children. He always positions himself in webmaster position, and he goes with the criminals to set up a political party to defraud the nation. You know, if you set up a political party to become a member of the local government or national government, and you know the gentleman is already imprisoned for a scam which was not valid because he broke the pedophile gang, you don't become his webmaster. Unless you wanted to find out if he still remembers who abused the child in the video and how much he knows that he could destroy him, and that's exactly what he did, insulting and assaulting him. Just go and look at the website. It's the shot of the website. You see Jean-Pierre, person next to that, the vice president of the new party, and then DL's name. Now you understand, they don't tell you the whole truth. He wasn't a scammer. Jean-Pierre found out about the pedophile groups and he had to be stopped because the face of the abuser was there. Please take us to prosecutors. We have so much information that connects everything together. I would like to ask you, DL, one thing. Can you write in your next blog for me, about the Russian lady which burned in a house, in a mansion in Antwerp, in the house of the man who owned 15 helicopters, and you and your associates wanted the helicopters to traffic children, and he didn't give it to you. You burned his house and you killed a child in it, a woman in it. If you're Belgium, please go to Mechelen Gazette, Antwerp Gazette, 2009, 2010, 2011, and find this. And please post it out. Then we show you how the murder is at, because DL was so making sure that I understand the thread that he was showing it to me, this magazine or this newspaper. Every day we were writing a book that, look what happened next. And then you find, you go to the police, a man associated with this fire and everything else is a close associate of DL. Again, a pedophile convicted in Thailand for abuse of 2 children. DL provided the face value of the extradition from Thailand. So now you see, wherever DL connects, sits the webmaster to have access. Now, all we are trying to show is a pattern. The authorities, because we show the pattern, we got Alan studying, we're just trying to establish a pattern, and you can see he's connected wherever there is a pedophilia or people who break into it, he has to stop. Jean-Pierre party was one of them, because once he would have got in party, he would have opened up the Pandora of the pedophiles again, and they had to be stopped by the top man. That's why he became the webmaster. Access to everything that he could block. Interesting enough, if you are Dutch, we told you about the scientist was killed prior to compression the night before with a heart attack. Heart attack comes from massive poisoning. This is known. Interesting enough, the gentleman in the fire in Antwerp with a compression and DL all appear in the same program, studying compression technology immediately after the death of the scientist. What we want the prosecutors to do, to open the file of the death of the scientist in Holland who developed the first compression. And then all the people subsequently came out with it and somehow have connected to other pedophile groups and murders. We need to do that outside, which Austria is the best place for us. We'll support it. Italian police is with us. You've done us a favor. We were waiting for somebody to start a prosecution, through a prosecutor, that the way we delivered data to FBI and CIA ended up with us. what we call the guy in America. Then we show how they are connected to American connection. Thank you very much for filing with the prosecutor. This gives us a chance to release the information we have on how DL is connected to the murders of the scientist, and then he patents that finding. And man, as he said, by the other link which we put last week, he is a suddenly out of nowhere compression specialist. But strange enough, the man who was connected to the murder in Antwerp was another guy selling compression technology about the same time in 2000, 2001. And strange enough, they're both best friends with each other. They spend a lot of time with each other's home. I've sat many days outside, them being upstairs, I could not go to the room. They're planning my next murder. Now you understand how we let them do, we just guide them. So we ask you, please, when you write the next article, write about the fire in Antwerp, where the Russian girl was killed. And we ask the police in Mahlab to open and connect the murders with other murders. Thank you very much for the work you're doing for us, DL. Write more. You're walking yourself into your own trap. And now, those who got fooled by him that he's everything, now you understand, he writes, I'm a pathological liar. He has to lie. He never told you that Mr. Rossum has written a book and he broke into the pedophile groups, which at that time, DL was a main key person. You don't go to bed with somebody you know so nationally. He is a scammer, a criminal. He broke a code of the world banking and monitoring, and he made a lot of money out of it. But when he found out about the pedophile, they destroyed him. I'll give you a name of another person in Belgium who they destroyed him. Peter. Peter broke into the abuse of immunization, injections. People in Belgium, they know who I'm talking about. Who guess was close to him immediately? DL. He destroyed him. They even took him to call him he's insane because he was proving that 3 injection immunization is dangerous. Very, very interesting. Extremely interesting. Wherever it comes character assassination, DL appears. This time we are an international organization. This time we see he hasn't told you about Mr. Van Rossum, because going to the archives of Belgian history, past 10 years, 15 years, it tells you he broke into the pedophile gangs. In part of my teachings a few months ago, I referred to it. Now we have all the details of it. The security forces are very interested because now we can connect murders, we can connect scientific murders, we can see character assassination, and we see everything else. Please write more. We are watching it very closely. You walked into it because we wanted you to call Van Rossum a scammer, but not to tell that you're the head of the party he set up 20 years later. You're not a child. You're a calculator murderer. Character murdering and everything else. Now you understand why we have taken position with Italian police and with other police forces, Carabinieri, to bring this matter to end, because the murderers of Fabio is connected to the same. The attempted murder of me in Italy is connected to the same. We have enough, and the police and prosecutors in Bari are waiting for all this information to come in. We are collaborating very closely. We needed you to start with all the emails we received over the past 5 or 10 years, threatening to kill, endangering children and everything else. You're quite welcome. Austrian prosecutor will be very interested. Very, very interested how you use false names to make threats. We do not accuse. We leave it. The man writes, he's a scammer, he was imprisoned, and exactly 20 years later, he helps a scammer, a guy, to set up a political party to scam children again from, this time, Belgium. Now you understand. You're dealing with a pathological liar. That's his term, because he is, and he writes about it. So please, if you're Belgium, look into, we ask you again, for a fire which happened in around Mahlet. The owner was a helicopter owner, 15 helicopters which they were trying to get their hands on for child trafficking. And then he would not relent. They stole everything from him and they killed the girl to pressurize him. It's in your news, we are not making it up. And then you ask the police in Belgium to open the people who were accused and interviewed. You will see a name. Then we give you the name of the person setting compression. Close friend of the L is the same in Holland. We ask the authorities in Holland to open the case of the murder. It's not the death, the murder of the first compression scientist, one of the most intelligent men in the world. And then out of nowhere, happily cubed becomes happily rich with murder. You have to understand the fee was 100 million euro or dollars. Please, we ask for the Keshe Foundation supporters in Belgium to find this data, because we want you to bring it. And we ask our supporters in Holland, look into the death of the scientist who actually developed the first compression, and the night before his science, he died of a heart failure. And strange enough, the two people who submitted the compression patterns and negotiations, one is DL and one is the other one. They appear again, now working as a team to trying to defraud the rest. The Article 107 of the Austrian Criminal Code, you have already broken. We have the emails. We would like the officers to look at it. How you can send cyber threats to the others. What you need to know, very important, if you're looking into the Dutch criminal, what we call death of the scientist, you have to look for a specific name. This scientist is the first man who broke the compression technology. And he would have made billions. You will see the name of one of the major corporations in the world as people who were negotiating. And you see them appearing for the second time in another negotiation with a close friend of DL. The name of the scientist in Holland, we're trying to get the investigators in Holland to open the case, is very, very simple. He is a very well-known scientist in the compression, and he has been, and his material was stolen from him. He was killed, and then the material is stolen out of nowhere. People who have no clue about compression became compression pattern writers, and as we saw, the Fosse said, you are compressions one day, the other thing another, webmaster of the organization the day after, and this goes on. So we are very, very glad. We would like to open second or third investigation across Europe for other scientists who've been killed, or business people who've been pressurized and killed, or received threat from this group. It is important for us. We stand, even if I get murdered, they've tried it many times. You as Keshe Foundation supporters have to stop this. First, the pedophile groups, and secondly, the group which are murdering scientists and rich people around Europe to access their wealth for their use or the position of theirs. We are not making accusations. Please go on the internet, find the burned house, and then post it. We look everywhere. That we want us as a team to start understanding what is going on. How one guy pretend to be angel is a devil in disguise, killing and everything else which goes with it. We have no problem. We are prepared to deliver. When we work and we go in, with FBI. Whatever we submit will go with the support of what we have delivered. We have all the telephone numbers, and we are entitled to release the telephone numbers and addresses on my website because I'm the one who's attacked. We are not making accusation. You open the case with prosecutors. We open the case across Europe with prosecutors and the people who've been killed by people you support and you work with. We have Facebook pages of you, which harasses me, my family, my foundation, and I have every right to protect my foundation. All the emails on the fancy names threatening me and my family, all been downloaded. All will go to the prosecutor. Thank you very much for your job. You've done us a great favor, and I have no problem in releasing more information on my website. If the security people release more data, it will be on their side. And I know the name, the connections, and everything else have been all added, put together. The name of the scientist, the first man ever broke into compression, is Jan, J-A-N, the slot, S-L-O-O-T-I-S, or S-L-O-O-T. If you're a Dutch supporter, search for his name. The night before releasing, he found it. Strange enough, two people submit patents and negotiate for compression technology. DL is one of them. And the other guy in the other negotiation is the other guy who's connected to the fire in Antwerp. Peter Fire record in Far East, playing angels in Europe. A number of scientists have been killed by this man. We release more names. Peter thought he has a friend, somebody he could trust, and DL abused it to destroy him, pass information. Those of you who were in the presentation of the 3rd of December, where we showed for the first time Iranian reactors, space reactors, in Peter's headquarters in Ghent. If you remember, if you were there, you can write about it. We knew we have a betrayer in the house, but he didn't know we know. The auditorium with 130-40 was sold out fully. There were rows of people standing against the wall. Peter can tell you, and the other people from the Keshe Foundation who were present. In the morning of that meeting, I asked for a couple of 100 black bags to be bought, and we took it to the meeting with us. At the reception, whoever came in were given one black bag. And we asked them, once they sat down, once they entered, they registered, that anything electronic they have, camera, telephone, whatever, has to go in the black bag in front of them. Otherwise, they have to leave the room. Everyone agreed immediately, because they knew. We didn't tell them what we're going to do, but there were suitcases on the table. People like Svan and the others in Belgium can tell you, because they were there. The only person who refused was DL. He created a mayhem because he could not show there were some more secrets coming out from the Iranian research that he could not send to his paymasters to do. Now we knew how we were infiltrated from that. The only person refused to leave the room and refused to put his telephone with a camera in the bag. I said to Peter, now you see we have a spy inside the house. We always knew, but we could not get rid of him because every time they planned the next murder. If you are a Belgium listener, come on the board, come, we let you to speak and explain what happened that day if you remember. We don't tell lies. The pathological liars are sitting around us. We are well aware. We thank you for opening the case in Italy, because now we can start the prosecution. And we thank you in Austria, but please make sure all communication has to go to Bandletter headquarters. We pass every file directly to the carabinier because you have sent a lot of rubbish to them and they wanted to get you. Now you open the door. We are waiting for your USB stick. You're a monkey, you have to follow what we did. And you thought, we have all your communications threatening you're sending it 5 o'clock. Past 2 days ago. We are waiting. Keshe Foundation support is in Austria. Get in touch with the prosecutor. We want to know which prosecutor is taking such a case. It should be near his house. And he has filed in a lot of false threats that he's been threatened because he could build up the case. Now you understand. I protect the Keshe Foundation, members of the Keshe Foundation, and we spend a lot of time and a lot of money to protect you and us. Now you see how we walked them into the confession. The guy was a scammer, but he doesn't tell you the guy was investigating pedophiles, which he was present when the child was abused. He wanted to know how much more he knows that they could silence the party. And when he knew he cannot get anything, and he was sitting as a webmaster, because those who send things to the webmaster, he deleted it, who took off that Van Rossum could not see. He was happy now to attack to destroy the party. The same as the Keshe Foundation, the same as the Fosse, the same as other scientists we have seen. Now, the whole thing is setting pattern that the security forces start looking how many other scientists have been murdered. We know of 3. We gave you then the first name. Please open a case with the prosecutor in Holland. The company Philips International is innocent. You will see their name in it. Royal Dutch company. The directors entered into negotiation as one of the leading corporations in software technology in their television and computer programs to purchase the data, the program. You come across Philips International, or what is called Dutch. These are people innocent, but you see them being pulled in the second round of negotiation after the murder. We have got all the negotiations, everything is downloaded in the hand of the securities. I have to tell you, Interpol and the Carabinieri have been in possession of all this data for past 8 months roughly. As you saw, we said before with the case of Sterling, if FBI told us we go after him, it'll be months and years to prove and we'll get nowhere. But if he walks in, we got him and we set it up. And he walked in. And now you see both the guys in Austria and in what you call facts about Keshe have walked into their own. They started a procedure, now we get them. But this time we have to do it as a family because it's you who received the threats, it's you who lost the computers. Sherry's Facebook is full of attacks on Keshe Foundation. It's known as stalking, it's known as making threats, and it's a criminal offense. I did not make them, you opened it, now we give it. And on the other hand, all the evidence from Belgian police has been blacked out because they realized it's nothing but fabrication to support DL. We welcome sincere, correct police officers from Belgian police to open the file, but not the ones you communicate with because they're already under investigation by European Court of Justice. This file completes more, and we thank you for filing with the Austrian prosecutor and the prosecutor in Bari, as you said. We hope we'll see the documents because we are ready to catch. We release more names, we release all the communications, we release everything we like on our website. But if the security people decide to release things on their side, it's their decision. And now you've seen today. We come to unite, and as part of the World Organization, we have to support humanity from the hand of these criminals who tend and pretend. No one has ever been so open to ask his, what you call pretended enemy, to write about him. He'll write about a fire in Antwerp. We got you. release it on your next blog, put the fire, the house burned, and who was interviewed by the police about it. But be not a pathetical liar, but a correct man as you claim to be. And then we'll be post who's been negotiating at the same time as you in 2001, 2002 for compression. And then I tell you how you plan to kill me in South Korea, and you plan to kill me in China with the same man you sent me to China with. None of you knew. The same man who's involved in the death of the fire in Antwerp, connected to the death of the scientist in Holland, with the recommendation and instruction and a push at that time in 2007, 2008 by DL, he was sent with me to see if I give any information to the Chinese they don't have, I'll be killed. So I know the person. And he came into my room in China and he said to me, there is a gun, they're going to kill me. It means there's a gun, I'm going to kill you if you don't give the information to me. And I was passive. I wasn't interested to give anything to Chinese because he was trying to tell Chinese I work for him and he is my master. And I was already told by the Chinese government that he's trying to sell your technology to us as he owns you. Now you see how much we know. We want the prosecution to start. We delivered the tickets, we delivered the communication with the Chinese and the Koreans to show how the same murder of me in China and Korea and 3 times in Belgium was set up by DL. Write about it, Mr. DL. We got you. You rot in hell, killing scientists, depriving children of their father, and you think you're an angel. Now all of you know why he's been writing so heavy, because they've been monitoring on our servers, on our server, how much information we collected and how close we are to get them. We were waiting for this key to go to prosecution, because now they started it. Now we release. But you have to know, we don't make accusation because these details are already, when I was poisoned and the second attempt to kill me in Valletta, and then they killed Fabio, was given to the Carabinieri. They have brought all the communication to Vatican, to Carabinieri together. The file is complete. We were waiting for you to walk in it. We got you. Please, DL, pathetical liars don't lie, but they live it. Write down about the fire and tell who is being connected. If you're a Belgian, write down. Russian girl was found dead in a fire near Antwerp, Mechelen. A man who owns a helicopter renting company, it was his house, the girl. They were pushing him to get his helicopters to be able to traffic children very easily. And he would not relent. So they tried to pressurize him. Now you understand how a man is connected through the same criminals. You think we made accusation. I traveled with a murderer. When I found out these things from the securities about a year ago, I thought I must have been very lucky, stayed alive, traveling with a murderer with me. He was there the minute if I gave the information to the Chinese to put a bullet through my head. That's why he walked in my room and he said, they tried to kill me, there is a gun here to kill. It means, we're going to kill you. Good morning, DL. Walk into the police station, hand yourself over in Austria, not in Belgium. They kill you in Belgium. Your masters would not let you breathe. That's why we see on the picture of the security released, if you go, you see the picture of the King of Belgium standing in front of me with a queen. Me sitting down in a cafe, DL knowing where I am, the king delivering his threat as usual, because he knew we are too close to a lot of things and they wanted the technology. Now you understand, we don't make accusation. Please, DL, write very heavy. We are counting on your writing because every time you write, you're sinking it deeper to your neck. Your Belgians, come online, we give you the platform now. If you were in the meeting of the Ghent, where we asked you to put everything in a black bag and you saw DL walking out, he wouldn't hand over his things. Let people know the truth. Now you understand. You're quite welcome. We know the murderer. We ate with him for 2 weeks in China. And he spends 8 out of 12 in the house with DL. Forever there together, planning the next murder. He's already been interviewed for the murder. But the big boys clean him up. But this time cannot be cleaned up. If I get killed or whatever, please carry on to stop this mess. And now you understand why DL was writing so heavily in past months. Because in the monitoring, they found out, we have found the truth. That how they're involved in killing scientists, how they're involved in writing patterns, and now we start releasing bit by bit. And now the guy called a scammer, they don't tell you that he broke into the pedophile groups and saw DL literally abusing a child. A lot of his supporters keep on writing to him, why don't you sue Keshe? Get him to... He knows that everything is true. Sue, we bring you down. Secondly, you already work with your people to trying to do everything silence. Now you understand. We are not hiding a document. We ask you to write, because when you write, like what you've done, he's a scammer in 1992, but in 1992-93, the same man broke into the circle of pedophiles. He was given a video of child abuse and everything else. And DL wants to know if he saw his face while he was abusing the child. Now you understand why he became a webmaster. Why everywhere he positions himself to be a webmaster. Those of you who go on the facts about Mehran Tabakkuri Keshe and victims of Mehran Tabakkuri Keshe, your details are kept by this gentleman. Watch your children and your computers. How they break in, how they hack, and how they make threat. Good morning, DL. Write about the fire. And write about who was interviewed. We do the rest. We just need you to walk into it. You already walked into it. And I tell you, the same man sells compression to Philips after death of the scientist. The partner buys a patent with the Fosse, banking in Belgium patent office the morning before the Fosse does, and you've seen the communication which we have released. And then comes to Mehran Tabakkuri Keshe. The same pattern. Blow the car up, high speed chase. Police arrest 2 people in Antwerp city center on a very much what you see in a Western style arrests, barricading the streets to get 2 armed people that threw the gun out. And strange enough, they disappeared. Strange enough, they disappeared. Now, you understand. This is our job. It's the biggest pedophile murdering scientist group which DL heads. Now you see he opened his hand. Tells you, I'm there to show the scammers, but he doesn't tell you, well, Russell, open the file of the pedophiles. If you know a guy has been in prison, a criminal, why do you 28 years later, you... On the other hand, we go back to the teaching.
Ja, ja. Det var nyhetene, det. Ganske tungt stoff, men dere skjønner kanskje hvorfor. Kommer vi til å gå tilbake til basic undervisning fra Mr. Keshe, med rett og slett barneworkshopene fra april 2014. Fordi det i de all den grunnleggende kunnskapen om plasma ligger. Og forståelsen av universet og hvordan det bygd opp. Som igjen omhandler hva plasma for noe. Det blir vist med engelsk tekst, og så kommer jeg til å oversette mer eller mindre linje for linje hva som blir sagt til norsk. Eller i hvert fall min forståelse av engelsk til norsk da.
And
Så da tenker jeg vi bare starter, ja.
welcome to all our children, especially myself. I'm still very old, but very young at heart and a child. My son is sitting in front of me and he's shaking his head. I was actually about his age, about 8, when I was introduced to the X-rays and radiation, and then I watched a man at a very young age landing on the moon. And I remember that night lying on the floor and watching, hoping that I can see the man landing on the moon. I still clearly remember that day. It was in July, summertime. And that was the first times when, to me, was to understand more. And he had that understanding more about the field and the world and the galaxies has never stopped. One of the most important things I think for the young children to understand, or young listeners, is that man is here not just because of what we say.
Ja, han forklarer litt om seg selv og hvem han og hvorfor han, eller hvordan han begynte å interessere seg for hvordan universet bygd opp da, når han var liten.
Man is here because collectively as a race,
Han sier at mennesket her fordi sammen som en rase
over hundreds and thousands of years,
og eller over hundre og tusener av år,
we have gathered information and we have passed it on from father to son.
har vi samlet informasjon og gitt det videre fra far til sønn
and to grandchildren.
Og til barnebarn.
And now we have the facility of the computers to be able to share this knowledge much rapidly and better.
Nå har vi liksom muligheten gjennom dataen til å dele denne kunnskapen mye raskere og mye bedre.
A lot of you know and have played with magnets.
Mange av dere vet og har lekt med magneter, vet om.
Magnets and the magnetic fields are the backbone of the creation.
Og magneter og magnetiske felter ryggraden av skapelsen, til skapelsen.
Nothing in the world is and can exist without magnetic fields.
Ingenting i verden eller kan eksistere foruten magnetiske felter.
But all the magnetic fields in the universe
Men alle de magnetiske feltene i universet
don't have the shape of very much what you get on your fridges.
har ikke så mye den formen som dere ser på kjøleskapsmagneter.
These are the magnets you see in your fridges. The little magnets.
De små magnetene.
So if you look, you already have and lived and play with magnets.
Så hvis dere ser, så har dere allerede levd med og lekt med magneter.
These are little magnets you stick on the fridge on your door.
Så det sånne magneter som dere putter på dørene og på kjøleskapet.
But behind these sits the whole mystery of the creation.
Men bak disse så hele mysteriet om skapelsen.
If you go to every single smaller piece, they actually are very much like this.
Så hvis du går til hver eneste mindre liten bit, så de nesten akkurat sånn som de her.
Willy?
They are
Ja,
Det bare mitt bilde som ikke viser? For mitt frossent.
Ok,
Ja,
skal jeg reshare kanskje?
prøv det. Der skjedde det noe.
Det visse tregheter her, så. Har dere bildet nå?
Ja, nå ser vi en fisk.
Nå ser du en fisk, ja. Ja, men det ikke verst. Det slett ikke verst. Jeg trengte å flytte på en ting her, men det ikke så lett å få flyttet på noe, så. Skal bare lukke ned et par ting her, så kan det gå litt bedre. Skal vi prøve igjen da?
Ja.
Fordi magnetene, de som små kuler. Så starter vi.
Little spheres. But in the universe, spheres don't sit on the floor.
Men i universet så sitter ikke kuler på gulvet.
The spheres,
Den fremdeles frossete hos meg også.
ja, det rart, for den ikke det her. Det var da veldig da. Jeg vet ikke hva mer jeg kan få lagt ned for å frigjøre noe mer fart heller, for det ser ganske normalt ut her, altså. Ja, Geir sier at bildet fryser hos han også, så...
Bare prøv igjen, tenker jeg.
Ja, hvis ikke jeg...
Hvis du ikke skal starte den spilleren på nytt eller noe. Det kanskje dumt.
Det
Du kan prøve en gang til.
Lurer litt på. Jeg skal bare starte filmen et annet sted.
X-rays and radiation, and then
Det frosset nå, eller ser dere teksten kommer?
landing on the
Vi
moon.
ser ingenting.
Nå ser vi ingenting da.
Nå
Nå
ser
har
vi
du ikke delt.
Nå har jeg ikke delt, vet du, så det ikke så rart. Well, we try again.
lying on the floor and watching, hoping that I can see the man landing on the moon. I still clearly remember that day. It was in July, summertime.
Hvordan går det nå?
And that was the first times when, to me, was to understand more than he had.
Nei.
Nei,
Har det ikke flyttet seg noe?
jo litt. Nå, når du stoppet han nå, så hoppet han litt frem da, men
Ja, for nå hoppet jeg frem til der vi egentlig var igjen.
There are little spheres.
Kunne du se det nå da?
Nei.
Nei, men da må jeg bare beklage, for jeg har en liten teknisk fluk her. Så får jeg bare ta restarte spilleren, så får vi se. Da kan dere jo finne dere en kopp kaffe eller noe så lenge, de som trenger det. Kan dere se bildet nå?
Ja, vi ser bildet.
Ja.
This is what we call a plasma.
Bevegde det seg nå?
Nei. Det beveger seg bare når at du stopper hele greia.
Ball, which they rotate.
Men dere har lyden.
And this, in our language, in a bigger language,
Det er det mest. Og ikke noe tekst som beveger seg eller noe?
Nei, det hender det hopper tilbake til teksten der hvor den skal være når du har stoppet spilleren, men that's it, liksom.
Ok. Det er jo ikke så bra. Jeg vet ikke helt hva jeg skal gjøre med det. Det går helt normalt i denne enden, så det er litt merkelig.
Prøv igjen da. Se om det kanskje funker nå.
Ja, jeg skal gjøre det.
if you go to every single smaller piece, they actually are very much like this. They are little spheres.
Hvordan så det ut da?
Tja, ikke bra.
Nei, men i alle dager. Kan du holde møtet åpent, hva skal jeg lagre den til host, og så tar jeg bare restart til computeren.
Ja, det kan jeg godt. Da er det kaffepause da, gutter. Og jenter.
Ja. Morgen. Da er jeg tilbake igjen.
Ja, jeg har gjort det om til host, ja, så hvis du gir meg litt styring her, så vil det være nice.
Ja, det er fint. Sånn. Skal jeg bare finne tilbake det vi har å se på.
But in the universe, spheres don't sit on the floor. There's
Sånn, har dere bildet nå?
Nå har vi bildet.
Kan dere se jeg beveger da?
There are little spheres. But in the universe, spheres don't sit on the floor.
Nei.
Kanskje vi skal prøve å kjøre den andre videoen I stedet for?
Hvilke andre?
Ja, det vi skulle ha videre. Det teachingen fra siste sending.
Ja, vi skulle egentlig kjøre det her. Det er dette som er programmet I dag.
Ok.
Så det er jo litt rart da, siden det går helt normalt herfra. Men jeg kan prøve å...
Ja.
Hva tenker du på, Maria?
Nei, jeg tenkte hvis det noe med zoomen at...
Ja, altså... Det ser jo sånn ut herfra da.
Hva om vi startet hele zoomen på nytt igjen da?
Ja, jeg har startet opp på nytt, men møtet har jo vært åpent hele tiden. Så det er jo det. Jeg vet ikke om vi skulle bare... Nå har vi rotet bort en halvtime snart på det her.
Willy, skal
Ja.
vi ikke prøve at lukke mødet fuldstændig ned, og så starter I det forfra? Det kunne være, det hjælper.
Ja, jeg vet ikke hva som skjer med opptaket fra Zoom da.
Jamen, hvis du nu stopper optagelsen, så har du jo det her. Og så starter du optagelsen I det næste møde, og så klipper vi det bare, kan det blive klippet sammen bagefter til en fil.
Jeg forstår det.
Vi har jo ikke noe annet valg da.
Nei, jeg skjønner det. Det fungerer jo ikke som det gjør.
Så husk at stoppe optagelsen, inden du lukker mødet.
Da må jeg bare si ifra til alle som inne her, at vær så snill å logge inn igjen om et par minutter. Så starter vi opp igjen på nytt.